Here at Ellison Preschool, our goal is to include all children in the classroom setting in order to promote acceptance amongst peers and provide an equal opportunity for all students to learn, no matter what their educational status is. With this being said, we have seen similar problem behaviors across each classroom that we would like to address. The two most common behaviors that we would like to target for decrease are fighting over toys and students engaging in tantrum behaviors. Our focus is during playtime, since this is when the behaviors are happening. A team of BCBAs have observed the students and their behaviors in the classroom and have come up with two interventions: a social story and differential reinforcement of other behaviors, also known as DRO, combined with a token board. In this training video, we will be talking about the importance of each intervention and how they can be implemented. DRO is a type of intervention used to help decrease behaviors where desirable behaviors are reinforced. If the individual engages in the target behaviors that we are looking to decrease, the individual is not reinforced. Token exchange systems, such as token boards or token economies, are a way to implement this form of reinforcement by allowing the child to earn small rewards that can then be turned in for a larger reward. Token boards are the easiest to implement with a DRO system. One single case study researched the effects of a DRO procedure on 25 children in a preschool classroom where their target behaviors were those similar to tantruming. The study implemented DRO with a token board including 15 spaces next to each child's name, and a timer was set for 30 seconds. When the timer was up, if the child was not engaging in disruptive behavior, they earned a star token on the board. Once each student earned 15 tokens, they received a reward of candy. Disruptive behaviors decreased from 64% to 27% occurrences due to the intervention. Social stories are an intervention that can be implemented for those with autism spectrum disorder who struggle with social protocol. Using this method of intervention helps provide a guideline for the individual to address a specific social situation that addresses the following: who, what, where, when, and why. Social stories can be individualized to the client who is receiving the intervention. When creating a social story, using a descriptive and directive sentence will help paint the picture for the social situation for the client. By including pictures or even videos throughout the social story, the student is able to associate the picture to the sentences that are being read to them. When implementing a social story, the story is read to the student once to a few times a day, depending on the requirements placed by the BCBA. By reading the story before engaging in the social interaction, the child is given cues while they engage in the situation. It prepares them on what to expect during the situation. In the study conducted by Lamore in 2002, the use of a social story helped reduce the target behaviors such as screaming, kicking, hitting, and throwing objects. The results of the study showed that the implementation of the social story decreased the precursors of the tantrum behaviors. The researchers suggested that based on the results, that this intervention will be beneficial for the youth and those with autism. The materials that are needed to implement the social story and DRO procedures include a social story book for each classroom. For the DRO, you will need a token board for each class. On the token board, the students will have spaces next to their name where they can earn tokens. You will also need a timer and reinforcers. The reinforcers will include pencils, erasers, stickers, etc. The materials that will be needed to collect data on the target behaviors will be momentary time sampling data sheets and a timer. Collecting data will be important to evaluate the effectiveness of the social story and DRO procedures. This slide shows the steps on how exactly to implement the social story and DRO procedure. The teacher should read the social story to the class prior to the play activity period. Once the play activity starts, the teacher will have their timers and momentary time sampling data sheets ready. At the end of each minute, the teacher will look to see if the students are engaged in target behavior at that moment. On the momentary time sampling data sheet, either a plus sign is marked if the student is engaged in the target behavior, or a minus sign is marked if the student is not engaged in the target behavior. Teachers' assistants should also have their timers ready. At the end of each minute, they should be looking to see if the students are engaging in aggressive and tantrum behaviors. If not, teachers' assistants should then put one token by the student's name and repeat this for every minute that the child is not engaged in aggressive or tantrum behavior. The students will have spaces next to their name where they can earn one token per minute. When the student earns 5 tokens, you can allow the student to have one reinforcer of their choice. Here's a link to a video we created that shows this procedure in action. Social stories are used to build the skills that children need to engage in different social situations. Reminding a child of appropriate behaviors by reading it in a form of a story helps a child to have an understanding of how interactions with peers should go, and in turn will help reduce unwanted behaviors. DRO used with the token economy is a great way to reward children for the behaviors that we want to see. Breaking up entire play sessions into 1-minute time intervals allow the child to earn rewards and reminds them frequently that they are doing a good job. The purpose of the DRO and social story protocol is to decrease tantrums and aggressive behavior during peer playtime. The goal is also to increase appropriate play behaviors. These include sharing, getting a peer's attention appropriately, asking nicely for a turn with a toy. The decrease of problem behavior and increase of functional play skills will allow more time for teaching other skills rather than spending time dealing with problem behaviors. The teacher reads the social story before peer play begins. The teacher will use the provided timers and data collection sheet to take data using momentary time sampling. The students who are not engaging in tantrum behavior or aggression will receive a token. Tokens can be exchanged after 5 tokens are earned. Here are some final tips to ensure that the procedures run smoothly. Take time to talk about any issues the staff may be having with the procedures. Discuss possible solutions and make modifications as necessary. To ensure that everyone is implementing the procedures correctly, staff should practice token implementation and reading the social story to ensure that everyone is consistent. Each classroom is responsible for alerting school administration that they are low on reinforcers. Teachers should request more program materials when they get lost or destroyed. All teachers have been sent PDF copies of the program materials to their work email. Teachers should make sure their students are motivated for the reinforcers available. If there are new toys or edibles that the class seems motivated for, add it as reinforcer for the token economy.